If you stand on the street corner in downtown Tallahassee, to the left is City Hall. Behind me is the Florida Capitol, and just up the road is the County Commission chambers. Each building has welcomed elected officials after they've gone through Leadership Tallahassee under the steady hand of Barbara Boone. But just as important to her are the newly engaged citizens, the law enforcement officers, volunteers, educators who have added to the community after their class year. So that's an appropriate place for us to begin this segment at the graduation of Leadership Tallahassee, Class 38.
Leadership Tallahassee end of the year graduation ceremony is one of the most celebratory moments in the Leadership Tallahassee year. You can imagine that the class has spent the full year together every month learning about the community, and now they get to proudly step up in front of all these other Leadership Tallahassee graduates from past classes to receive their own plaque commemorating and recognizing their year together. Leadership Tallahassee is a program of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. We are embarking on our 39th class. I think the original concept is that leaders aren't born, they're developed. You may be born with characteristics of leadership, but then you need to have those honed and sharpened. It's community leadership, which means you learn skills as a servant leader. Our goal is that you learn to bring all people to the table, all stakeholders, for whatever it is you're working on, whether it's in your church or school or family or business or community organization.
Came from the front table. I know y'all couldn't hear it, but it was fabulous.
I think in many people's minds, when you think of leadership, they immediately think of people who are elected to office or who have been appointed. For Leadership Tallahassee, that's awesome. We absolutely love it, and we've got several who are currently office holders. But we work at having a broader program, one that helps people take leadership roles in whatever facet of the community that appeals to them. Many times people don't realize what their capacity is for giving back to a community. We want the year to transform them. It's a transformative process. You come in with certain expectations and ideas and skills or knowledge. We hope after the year with Leadership Tallahassee, you look at your community with fresh eyes, how challenges can be met, how assets can be promoted, how Tallahassee can only grow and go higher with involvement of community leaders. So Leadership Tallahassee is more than the adult year-long leadership program. We also provide postgraduate, if you will, opportunities for our alumni to stay involved and get involved. And we also have a Youth Leadership Tallahassee program for high school juniors. I'm amazed at these young people. When they come into the program, they're a little bit nervous or they don't really know what they're getting into, and then in that year they are transformed into these well-spoken, knowledgeable young people. And in my view, our future is in good hands. The Longest Table is a fabulous initiative that came about from a conversation among the city, county, Village Square, and Leadership Tallahassee. Picture this, a table that spans the length of 5 to 6 city blocks, continuous, all with folks from all parts of the community coming for dinner, sharing a meal, and sharing conversation about what they love about Tallahassee, but also what they would like to see Tallahassee do better. Prior to moving to Tallahassee, I actually was born and raised in Neptune Beach out of Jacksonville, Florida. One of 7 children. My father ran for the local city council. He didn't win, but we've always been involved in the community growing up. One of my great loves is all things Broadway. My sisters and I actually had a trio that we would perform in local talent shows. I also did community little theater, and as it turns out, I was awarded Best Actress of 1963. I loved musicals, I loved live performances. My mother was a tap dancer, and at 85, she was a member of a troupe called the Sassy Tappers, and she actually came over to Tallahassee and performed outside the Capitol with the group on their Arts and Culture Day. You were joking with me earlier about that I don't take any bull because you know that my husband and I, in a past life, raised rodeo livestock. And I mean bulls and whatnot. We had some property on the west side of Jacksonville and were able to go there on weekends with our kids to enjoy the outdoors. To me, it was an opportunity to decompress. As it turns out, my husband, Forrest Boone, ran against an incumbent for the Jacksonville City Council and won. We were ecstatic. We were very young. I think he was 27. We had no idea what we were doing. But as he moved through his 8 years serving, we learned so much about what people care about and what people want you to pay attention to. That prepared me, I think, for moving to a new community with some of that background of politics and serving a community in the government arena. Later, we bought a farm outside of Live Oak and we raised vegetables, cucumbers for pickling and some other things. And it was a great experience for our kids to be able to be out in nature, and we did hunting and fishing and horseback riding. For me, Tallahassee brings all those elements together. You're 5 minutes from kayaking in a local lake. The trails that surround Tallahassee takes you just moments to go to those, park your car, get out and go for a run or a walk. We are blessed with an environment that's not only lovely to look at and beautiful, but it also is good for health and wellness. What I love about Tallahassee is its willingness to change for the better. My husband and I have counted ourselves as so fortunate to really have a ringside seat on how Tallahassee has grown over the years.